In this episode, we talk about a massive ring road project that is going to be implemented in the Mumbai Metropolitan Region. We also talk about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 3-day visit to the United States. But first, we talk about India's golden generation in chess. Hi, I am Niharika Nanda and you are listening to 3 Things, the Indian Express news show. The 45th Chess Olympiad was organized by the International Chess Federation in Budapest, Hungary. The Olympiad started on 10 September and went on till the 23rd. The Indian team gave an incredible performance at the Olympiad and won 2 team and 4 individual medals. The Indian men's team in the open section gave an amazing performance where out of 44 games they just lost 1, winning 27 of them and drawing the remaining. And the Indian women's team also raced across the finish line by winning 3 games and drawing 1 against Azerbaijan. To learn more about what is called India's golden generation as far as chess is concerned and how they pulled off this win, we have Indian Express's Amit Kamath joining us. Amit, tell us about the Indian team that went to Budapest for the Chess Olympiad and their performance.
So the Indian team was a very fascinating mix of characters, We had 3 chess players from the current generation, if you will, which was Gukesh sitting on the top board, Pragya Nanda sitting on second, Arjun Ergyasi sitting on the third board. You had somebody like Vidit Gujrati who was playing for India on the fourth board. And he's not quite a prodigy, but then he's also begun life very young and he's somebody who's seen all of the phases that these young kids have, but he's still at the top. So he's one of those, I don't want to say middle age, but then in chess terms, he's maybe in the middle age in a sense. And on the 5th board, you had Pentala Harikrishna, who's like a real veteran. He's been around for many, many decades. So he's seen ups and downs in the world that I don't think these other 3 young kids have experienced so far, because it's all been like up, So that was the open team. In the women's team also, there was a very fascinating mix. You had Harika, and there was a very fascinating story that Harika said at the press conference. She said that, she first played in an Olympiad somewhere around 20 years back. When she played in an Olympiad 20 years back, some of her teammates were not even born. Somebody like a Divya Deshmukh who won a gold medal on the individual board, she's 18. So she was still 2 years away from being born when Harika was playing in her first Olympiad. Then you had Vaishali, also very, very young, very, very talented. She's a grandmaster. And you had Vantika Agarwal. Vantika Agarwal also, like Divya, she had one of the best tournaments of her career at the Olympiad. So what was happening is it was a very fascinating mix. And there was also Tanya Sachdev who was playing on the 5th board, which means she was kind of somebody who is slightly older than these young prodigies, but then she's also right at the top. So a very fascinating mix in both cases.
Right, and we hear that the teams won 2 medals.
So obviously there were 2 gold medals. So the gold medals are essentially a collective flex, if you will, in the world of chess, because look, chess is a very individualistic game. Any country can luck out and have maybe like one great grandmaster. Like you see with Norway, right? You have Magnus Carlsen, but then you maybe look at where the Norwegian team finished. Norwegian team finished 14th in the overall standings in the open section. And the Indian team was, first. So that kind of tells you how much gap there is in a collective sense. Like you can have one great grandmaster, but having a team gold medal is, I guess, the ultimate team flex in a sense in a sport that is largely individualistic. And I think what needs to be mentioned is that a lot of people were expecting the Indian men's or the open team to do really well. But the women's team is somebody who, like, they took their fair amount of knocks in the tournament. They had 1 defeat against Poland. They were held to a draw in one of the matches. But they still recovered from that. They still managed to make sure that they won the gold medal, which is no mean feat. In their case, I think it was very remarkable.
Right, and Amit, tell us about the individual medals that were won by the Indian players along with their team medals.
Talking about the individual gold medals, 4 of them, I think Gukesh and Arjun Ergyasi playing on the 1st and the 3rd board for India was the equivalent of having 2 Virendra Sehwags playing in the same team, Both of them were somebody who absolutely refused to play for draws. So Pragyananda was somebody who was not having his best tournaments, but then he was still ensuring that he was getting the draws so that at least there was no defeat on the board. And these two guys were just smashing through pretty much anybody who came in front of them. You look at their records at the tournament itself, and that speaks for itself. Gukesh played in 10 games at the tournament. He drew only twice, 0 defeats, which means 8 wins. You look at somebody like Arjun Ergyasi, he played in all 11 boards. Every round he played, he only had 2 draws and the rest of the 9 were wins. So that kind of tells you about how dominant these two players especially were.
Right, and talking about Gukesh, you mentioned a previous loss that he faced and how he redeemed himself this year. So tell us what he had to say regarding this win.
For Gukesh, there was an Olympiad in 2022, the last Olympiad. And that was, in a sense, the first real time that the world saw Gukesh as a world beating chess player, because he went on a rampaging run and he wasn't playing in the main India team. Because, in 2022, India was hosting the Olympiad, which means they got the chance to have 2 teams. And when that happened, Gukesh was on the top board in the second team, the B team, if you will. And suddenly people started to notice that Gukesh was playing at a crazy level. He defeated somebody like a Fabiano Caruana, who's been in the top 3 rankings for many years now. So he defeated him, and it looked like the Indian team was good enough to win gold at that tournament, and Gukesh himself would win a gold medal on the individual board. And then the Indian team took on Uzbekistan, and Gukesh was playing one of the good game until he had a blunder and he lost. And if he hadn't lost that match, India would have probably won a gold medal at that Olympiad. And Gukesh had the opportunity to just draw the game and take a win, but then he played for a win and it didn't work out. So that hurt, that sense of hurt was always there within him somewhere, which is why he wanted to do really well at this Olympiad. That's what he spoke about also, that, this Olympiad mattered to me because I wanted to, he didn't say redeem himself, but this was a redemption of sorts for him, because he was the reason why maybe they had a great tournament, but then result was also kind of the reason why they could not win gold. But that was something that he took care of this time around.
Right, and Amit, now can you talk to us about the Indian women in chess and how they performed at the Budapest Olympiad?
Right. I think we need to look at the women's gold medal, the team gold medal, as something that is at par, if not even better than the men's gold, only because the men's gold medal was something that a lot of people had predicted, like they were expecting it. And the women's team, despite them being the top seeds, I don't think a lot of people would have given them that chance that they will definitely win a gold medal. Everybody thought that they could maybe end up on the podium. And we had 2 standout performers in the team. You had Divya Deshmukh, who is just 18 years of age. She's not a grandmaster yet, but the performance that she showed at the Olympiad on the 3rd board for India, winning a gold medal in the individual event. And she was somebody who powered the team when she had 0 defeats in the whole tournament. When she was playing, I think the rest of the women's team also kind of fed off from her energy. Then you had Vantika on the 4th board, who was also on a roll. She also won a gold medal on the 4th board for India. So when you had those 2 players doing exceptionally well, that kind of gave the rest of the seniors, like maybe Tanya Sajdev and Harika, kind of that mental peace that, no matter what happens, we are still good enough. I think because of how well the male players are doing in India, sometimes the successes of the women's players are they go under the radar a little bit. So by that sense, also a great result for India to have 2 gold medals, both in the open and the women's section,
Right, and you also write that this has been a great year for India in chess. Tell us, why is that?
I think everything great that could happen for Indian chess has started to fall into place. You look at something like a candidates tournament, right? The candidates tournament is a tournament where 8 players get selected. It's a cutthroat selection procedure just to make it to the candidates. And then those 8 players play against each other twice. And whoever wins that, they earn the right to play against the world champion. Right? So to qualify for the candidates is cutthroat in itself. 3 Indian players make it in women's section. Out of 8 players, 2 are Indian. So out of 16 in that candidates, 5 of them are Indians. So as I said, making it to the candidates is very, very hard to do so in the first place. Then you have somebody like a Gukesh winning the candidates at the age of 17, thereby becoming the youngest player ever to win the candidates. And when I say ever with an emphasis, I mean that only because, like, just look at the players he's finished ahead of, right? I mean, you look at somebody like a Bobby Fischer, you look at somebody like a Gary Kasparov, Vishwanathan Anand himself, Magnus Carlsen. None of them could do it at the age of 17. Gukesh was somebody who did it at the age of 17, right? So that tells you about the level of his. And then you had other things working out for Indian chess. You look at something like a Norway chess tournament where a Pragyananda goes to Norway, which is Magnus Carlsen's home country, and defeats Magnus Carlsen in the classical format for the first time ever. And it was one of those games where Magnus tried to take chances against him, and Prag says, okay, you want to underestimate me? Sure, you want to fight? We'll fight. And he defeats him. So that kind of also was an indicator that their mindset is something else at this moment. These prodigies, they're not ones for the future. The future is now, essentially. And I think the year still has potential to be even better because Gukesh is going to play in the World Championship where he could again become the youngest ever world champion at the age of 18.
Right, and you also had the opportunity of talking to Indian team captain Srinath Narayan. What did he had to say regarding India's massive win and the golden generation?
So Srinath is somebody who's he's one of those in between generations, right? Between Vishwanathan Anand and this current generation of stars comes, I don't know, like 60, 70 odd grandmasters, and Srinath is one of them who played a role in pushing this next generation ahead and making stars out of them, getting those guys a lot of know-how that he maybe himself would have missed in his playing career. So Srinath is of that age. So he's seen the highs himself, he's seen the lows himself. So he spoke about, how with this generation, he needed to do very little in terms of teaching them about chess or teaching them about, like, just motivating them. He didn't have to do a whole lot because this generation was very motivated by themselves to do well. They wanted to come, they wanted to win, they wanted to beat whoever they put in front of them. So that was Srinath's experience in a sense.
And what kind of reactions has this win garnered?
One of the most fitting comments came from the legendary Susan Polgar, who said that this Indian team looks like it will stay on the top for many years to come, and India is now officially the best chess nation in the world. And this kind of also adds to what the legendary Gary Kasparov had said about Indian chess. A few months back, when Gukesh had won the candidates, he spoke about, how the tectonic plates of the world of chess are shifting. There's essentially an earthquake in the sport, and that earthquake has been brought about because of the Indian players. And he said a great line. He said that the children of Vishy Anand are on the loose, and I think that's what the rest of the world is now seeing. The children of Vishy Anand are in fact on the loose, winning tournaments, winning events left, right, center. We've almost reached the stage where if you go into an elite tournament, you will probably, it's almost, I know, thoda sa hyperbole hai, but then just imagine you are a top player, you are playing in a tournament, your first round opponent is maybe Pragyananda. If you beat Pragyananda, you get to meet Arjun Ergyasi. If you beat Arjun Ergyasi, you probably get to meet Gukesh in the next round. If you beat all three of them, then maybe you get to meet Vidit Gujrati in the fourth round. So it's reached that stage, you can't escape Indian stars or bumping into them in tournaments. You have to beat them if you hope to be at the top. Vishwanathan Anand himself said that, it's a magical time to be a chess player. And imagine, like, Vishwanathan Anand is still, I believe, somewhere in the world's top 12. I think he's 11 or 12 at the moment. He did not even play in this team because he's making the conscious decision of sitting out at the Olympiad. He plays very, very selective tournaments. But the Indian team didn't need Vishwanathan Anand to play a part at all and still went and won gold. So that tells you a whole lot about Indian teams, the depth of Indian team.
And Amit, you said that the future of India in chess is now. So tell us what really lies in the future for India, especially given the fact that this is called the golden generation of chess for India.
This 2 team gold medals, it kind of puts the world at notice that, as Susan Polgar said, that the Indian teams are here at the top and at any tournament you want to go to. And so if you want to climb Everest, you have to beat these guys before you can do that. So it's that. And I think the dynamics of world chess also will kind of change. You have somebody like a Nihal Sarin who had a gold medal on the second board at the 2022 Olympiad, who didn't even feature in this team. So the depth in India is right now crazy. I was talking to the Hungarian grandmaster today, Richard Rapport. He was somebody who helped Ding Liren become the world champion last year. He was telling me, that you have players sitting on the fourth board. And so in Olympiad, the boards are organized usually by how good a player is. So your strongest player will be on the first board and so on in a descending order. So if somebody is on the fourth board, they are essentially your fourth best player according to your team captain, unless you have some strange team tactic that is playing on. But imagine Vidit Gujrati sitting on the fourth board and Richard Rappaport telling me that that guy that you put on the fourth board, he was good enough to be a first board on a lot of the teams in the world. So that tells you about just the depth of Indian chess at the moment.
And next, we talk about a new massive infrastructural project in the Mumbai Metropolitan Region. Mumbai is on its way to decongestion. The Indian Express has obtained exclusive details about Mumbai's Ring Road Master Plan, developed by the Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority, or the MMRDA, which outlines an extensive network of road connectivity across the Mumbai Metropolitan Region, or the MMR. The intricate network includes roads, flyovers, reclaimed coastal routes, bridges, and underwater tunnels, all designed to alleviate the city's traffic woes by 2029. To learn how the MMRDA plans to execute this project and how it will change the life of Mumbaikars and the people travelling to the city for work, we have Indian Express's Sweety Adimulam joining us. Sweety, tell us about the Mumbai Ring Road project and why is there a need to build it?
Well, Mumbai is a very much, congested city. We are seeing a lot of vehicular traffic that is increasing day by day. So different agencies are working together. When we talk about different agencies, then there is MMRDA, then there is local municipal authority, which is known as BMC, then there is MSRDC. So these are the different agencies who have come up with mega projects. So all projects, when once get completed, it will complete the circuit of a ring road, and that will play a very crucial role in terms of when we talk about the traffic that the city is seeing, especially not just in Mumbai, but also in the MMR, which is an extended part of Mumbai. So Mumbai Metropolitan Region will get decongested with these projects when we talk about the mega projects that MMRDA is taking up. So this is how the city will declutter, will provide a seamless connectivity to commuters. Right now, when a person has to travel from one end of the city to the another end, it takes more than an hour. But now that won't be possible with the completion of all these projects, which is slated to get completed in the next 5 years.
Right. And how does the MMRDA plan on executing this infrastructural project?
So planning also is very important when we talk about, so they have their comprehensive mobility plan, which gives them a blueprint, what type of projects they are supposed to take up. So based on those mobility plan, they carry out the projects. Right now, MMRDA is taking up a couple of projects, which is costing them around 58,000 crore rupees. And when we talk about the MMR region, that is like if we include metro projects, road projects, bridges, tunnel. So overall, it is costing them 3 lakh crore budget. Apart from that, the thing is that a lot of infrastructural activities are going on. There is a Vadhavan port, which is coming up at Palghar. Then we are talking about the Navi Mumbai International Airport, which is coming up. A lot of logistical parks are coming up in Mumbai city. So a lot of traffic is expected, especially the commercial traffic. The heavy vehicles are expected in the city. So how these vehicles will bypass the internal roads? So that is the plan. With this plan, they have come up with a ring road, which will ensure that the heavy traffic gets rerouted or can complete the circuit through the ring road that is coming up in the next 5 years.
And Sweety, tell us about this ring road project and what makes it so exclusive and significant.
So MMR is very crucial when we talk about the ring road project, since our focus is on the ring road. So there are 6 ring roads that are coming up, and the 7th is the outer ring road, which will connect to the expressways, to the borders. So all these things are coming up. So MMRDA is right now constructing overall 90 kilometers of new roads, which is costing them 58,000 crore rupees. And they have got the finances from international agencies also like JICA. So a seamless connectivity is expected with these ring roads whenever they are getting activated or like whenever these projects get completed. So in the next 5 years, the target is the city will decongest in all these ring roads. The outer ring road will, of course, pave the way for the inner ring roads also. and there will be a connectivity which will make sure that Mumbai from one end of the city to the another end, the distance can be traveled within an hour. So that is the intention and that is the aim. The important part is Mumbai is the first city, or like MMR is the first region where you will have projects which is passing over creek, over sea. It will be having a combination of a tunnel which is passing through an urban road which is quite heavily congested. So there are tunnels, there are bridges, there are elevated bridges. So every terrain of the geography has been used for these different projects. So when we talk about a particular ring road, say for example, when we talk about an outer ring road, so right now at Nariman Point, which is one of the important and prominent place in South Mumbai, people can travel to and fro where they will have a seamless connectivity and they can take that outer ring road which is connecting to the upcoming Warsaw Bandra Sea link, then Uttan link, then there is a Daisar link, there is Vadodara Expressway, the work which is going on by NHAI. So these are the different projects which will provide an outer ring road where these commercial vehicles, especially when we talk about, they are not supposed to come to the city, but externally they can reach to the particular point and they can complete their journey is what the expectation is all about.
Right, and Sweetie, you mentioned that this mega project is going to be a network of 7 ring roads essentially. So tell us how these ring roads are going to be connected and how will they reduce the congestion in the Mumbai Metropolitan Region?
So there are almost like 7 ring roads, 6 are inner ring roads and 7th is the outer ring road when we talk about. So there are different projects that are coming up at Nariman Point. Right now the BMC has completed the coastal road project. Then there is a Warsaw Bandra Sea link which is also providing a connectivity to the coastal road. Then beyond that there is Warsaw Bandra Sea link which is being undertaken by MSRDC. Then there is a link road which is going up till Daisar and then Mira Bhayandar, which is an extended boundary of Mumbai basically. So these all connectivities when we talk about, then there is a JVLR, then there is an existing road also of JVLR, then there is an Eastern Freeway which is getting extended up to Chheda Nagar. Then there is a Godbandar Road which is also getting connected via Coastal Road project which is being proposed by the MMRDA. So several of these projects are coming up. These all projects are mega projects which will complete the circuit of a ring road in MMR region within Mumbai city also, and will ensure that there will be a seamless connectivity. Many of the projects have been taken up. Like for instance, MSRDC has already taken up the project of Warsaw Bandra Sea link. Then there is another project which has been initiated by MMRDA about this Thane Borivali Twin Tunnel project, which is passing through the Sanjay Gandhi National Park forest area. So there will be a tunnel through that portion also. Even BMC has taken up Goregaon Mulund Link Road. So all these mega projects are coming up. A few projects are already in the tender stage. In few other projects, the tenders have already been awarded. So possibly from Diwali, many of the projects are expected to be started. The construction work is expected to be started. And that's how in the next 5 years are expecting that all these projects will get completed and there will be no congestion possibly is what expected. BKC alone contributes almost like 4% to the GDP and MMR contributes almost like 5% to the GDP. So all this plays a very crucial role when we talk about the economy, how it will boost and all. So all these projects will actually help to save fuel, saving the time. Of course, the productivity will increase. And that's how they're expecting in the next 5 years. It will play a crucial role to decongest MMR region, including Mumbai.
Right, and you also had the opportunity of talking to Sanjay Mukherjee, the MMRDA commissioner. So what did he had to say regarding the project?
So yeah, these projects will play a very crucial role when we talk about the outer and the inner ring roads, which are set to be completed in the next 5 years, like we discussed. So when we talk about urbanization, Mumbai and Thane are going into rapid urbanization. So these are the basically two vibrant cities also, and they play a very crucial role when we talk about the national GDP. So the aim is to ease traffic congestion, improve travel time, and accommodate the future growth. For this purpose, these projects have been targeted is what the commissioner of MMRDA is talking about. The authority has taken up 90 kilometers of new road construction work of costing around rupees 58,000 crore. So these are all ring roads which are coming up, like 6 inner ring roads and 7th outer ring road will actually help to transform the Mumbai and Thane transport landscape is what being expected. And it will also stimulate the economic growth by improving access to the key areas of Mumbai, which we see a lot of traffic right now. So with the ring road, with the upcoming projects, it will definitely reduce the congestion on the city roads and help the traffic which is coming from the outside do not take the internal city roads and create a lot of additional traffic jam. So this is the vision with the new projects that are coming up, with the ring roads that are expected to be developed in the next 5 years. Mumbai surely and Thane surely is expected to see a lot of ease in traffic congestion, and commuters may have a seamless traveling experience is what the commissioner is expecting through these projects.
And in the end, we talk about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the US. Yesterday at the United Nations Summit of the Future, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the success of humanity lies in our collective strength and not on the battlefield.
Success of humanity lies in our collective strength, not in the battlefield.
While addressing the summit in New York City on the final day of his visit to the United States, PM Modi stressed on according the highest priority to a human-centric approach while prioritizing sustainable development. He talked about sustainable development by giving the example of reducing poverty in India.
Friends, जब हम ग्लोबल फ्यूचर की बात कर रहे हैं तो ह्यूमन सेंट्रिक अप्रोच सर्वप्रथम होनी चाहिए। सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट को प्राथमिकता देते हुए हमें मानव कल्याण, फूड, हेल्थ सिक्योरिटी यह भी सुनिश्चित करनी होगी। भारत में 250 मिलियन लोगों को गरीबी से बाहर निकालकर हमने यह दिखाया है कि सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट कैन बी सक्सेसफुल।
The Prime Minister further said that reforms in the global institutions are necessary for global peace and development. He added that India was ready to share its digital public infrastructure with the world.
Digital public infrastructure should be a bridge, not a barrier. ग्लोबल गुड के लिए भारत अपना डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पूरे विश्व से साझा करने के लिए तैयार है। Friends,
Prime Minister Modi, who is on a 3-day visit to the US, also held an hour-long bilateral meeting with President Joe Biden on Sunday. The president, whose term is set to conclude, said that US partnership with India is stronger, closer and more dynamic than any time in history. Speaking at the Quad Leaders Summit in Wilmington, Delaware on Saturday, the Prime Minister said that it is important for all of humanity that member countries move forward based on democratic values.
Friends, हमारी बैठक ऐसे समय हो रही है जब विश्व तनावों और संघर्षों से घिरा हुआ है। ऐसे में साझा डेमोक्रेटिक वैल्यूज के आधार पर क्वाड का मिलकर साथ चलना पूरी मानवता के लिए बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। हम किसी के खिलाफ
At a roundtable attended by US President Joe Biden, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, Modi said, quote, Quad is here to stay, to assist, to partner and to complement. Unquote.
Quad is here to stay, to assist, to partner and to complement. मैं एक बार फिर
The 2-day Summit of the Future began on Sunday as a part of the annual UN General Assembly meeting in New York. On the first day, the General Assembly approved a 42-page document called the Pact of the Future, highlighting the summit's main outcome. It serves as a blueprint for addressing global challenges like conflicts, climate change, artificial intelligence, and more. The idea of the Summit of the Future was put forth after UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres a year ago challenged world leaders to make a new commitment to multilateralism in the backdrop of a global alarm about the survival of humanity and the planet. Guterres also urged the leaders to begin fixing the global architecture to meet the needs of a rapidly changing world. You were listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar and produced by me, Niharika Nanda. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone you think will like it. Share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Audio and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.